Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Polyhedron Collidercast live at UK Games Expo. I'm Steve Tudor.
I'm Andy Lewis.
I'm Sid Gill.
I'm John Cage.
And I'm Rory Summers. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Good morning. This is different. There's more people in our living room.
Oh, okay.
Are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Are you comfy?
Don't start.
Oh, yeah. How is the chopper up, Rory?
Don't start.
You comfy? Sure.
So, we saw some board games at the press preview last night.
Moving swiftly on.
There's more interesting things to talk about, Rory.
Just don't do it.
If you'd seen Rory last night, he was walking a bit like John Wayne.
You've gone very red, Rory.
It's so embarrassing.
His shorts aren't actually orange, that's the glow.
I hate you guys so much.
You were never getting away with it.
You thought we were here to talk about board games.
I was almost in tears. Right.
It was
You
funny.
kept telling us off.
Oh,
we're
on
walking
that
too
point,
fast.
mate,
Can
actually,
you slow down? Can you slow?
On
We
that
could.
point, you might want these back.
Why are you handing him his trousers?
Do we want to know?
Why do you have his trousers?
If you join the microtransactions, you can find out about what happened to the...
And then there's...
Please, can we talk about some board
All right.
Go on then, Rory.
Go on,
Oh,
start us off, Rory, with a board game. Go on.
No, someone else go first.
Go on, Steve. You're
Right,
in charge.
well, just.
You're head cat.
So, we saw, it was the press preview last night. So we saw quite a lot of games there, to give you a bit of a taster. We also managed to get a sneak peek of the halls. I mean, I take it, has everyone been in now and had a walk round and been utterly gobsmacked at the size of it all now and a little bit overwhelmed?
The audience nods.
Yes.
What would you do?
Are you
Description?
described?
It's the equivalent of signing, right?
Yeah.
So we're just going to talk about some games we saw either yesterday or today. I'm going to kick off with what I thought was the most visually impressive game I saw, which looked like Santorini on crack.
What was that? Yeah, what was that one called?
It was called, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Cubyria.
That's probably wrong.
It's probably wrong,
Yeah.
but it was effectively a cross between Santorini and Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
Ooh.
So like a 3D version, you were building up as well as out. And there was all building rules, like you can't put a window next to a wall, of course, because you need to be able to see through the window. And then there were secret doors that can go next to a wall, and balconies have to be above the first level, and then you get points based on how high they are above first level. It's not out yet. It's coming to Kickstarter later in the year, and so they've got like prototypes they're showing off.
But
And
that was a prototype.
that was a
wasn't it?
prototype, yeah.
So that had instead of little blue domes that you have in Santorini, they were gold.
Yeah.
It looked fantastic.
Lovely.
And they also put on little lazy Susans. So the little boards that spun round, yeah.
That's what you want. That's got elements of...
That's quite exciting.
Simple things impress us.
you can tell they're engineers.
Right.
Ooh, this is nice. This is
So what was that called again?
You're going to make me say it again.
Yeah.
Cubyria.
Cubyria?
And where is that? Sorry.
I don't know.
We haven't found it yet.
It's in the halls.
Honestly. It's potentially disappointing now.
It was 189 last night.
That's the table number from last night. Thank you, man.
It's not helpful. It sounds like it's got elements of what's that Greek game that Sid really likes from Hachette?
Acropolis.
That's the one. Acropolis. It's
Yeah,
because of the
yeah.
3D.
The height, yeah. It looked really interesting. They were saying there's obviously some production issues they've got to solve because at the moment everything's 3D printed and they want to get it injection molded. But they were also saying that we're going to try and do a way in which that each piece actually folds. So it's injection molded and then folds flat so it can go back in the box.
That sounds clever.
That sounds like a little bit of faff. That before I play the game, I've got to assemble everything. Or do you suppose you just assemble as you
They
need
can't just
to go?
fold as you need them, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now, I've actually done some injection molding in my life, and that sounds terrifying. And the fact they're even thinking about that, I think they're
Would
mad.
that not
but-
wear out as well? Because of the number of times you bend it and then bend it back. And
I
then
mean,
bend
we
it,
can
they'll
go
just
into the crystalline structures of
Can we not?
polyethylene.
Can we talk about my crotch again, please?
Go ahead.
Let's not
We
go
haven't
there.
really explained what happened either.
We finally did it. We broke Andy.
It's just this horrible ginger
Stop
rainforest in
picturing
my mind. It's disgusting.
There was no water.
Moving swiftly on.
Give us a board game then, Rory.
Oh, God.
Come on,
Well-
John, you're the only one not giggling profusely.
All right, so I wasn't here for the press preview because the UK Games Expo are too tight to give me a press pass.
Yeah.
So next year, but I
like the
did.
room, are they good?
We did mention Fathom in the preview episode, where you go and scan for little creatures in the depths of the sea and try and compete to get the most. I think some of you guys actually got a chance to see this.
We had a good look at that last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I think it looks really interesting. So the base game, it starts off quite light as you're trying to move around and you're trying to get this juxtaposition between moving your submarine to explore and your little scuba team to go and
There's
actually
like an
do the work.
ROV thing and a
Yeah.
boat and stuff on the top. There's a
Little
sonar
sonar,
board.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but the
it's quite
clever thing I
exciting.
think about this is that the game starts off quite light and then you add in extra modules. It kind of gave me little notes of almost Shackleton base, but you add in this module to make it more complicated, then you added this module to make it more complicated, and you add in this module to make it more complicated and more competitive. There's like a shark mode where you've got the sharks going to start coming in and start attacking and eating the fish that you want to try and find. So it adds a more race element against the game itself, as
So
well
is
as
it-
competing against each other.
Is it a little bit reminiscent of Endeavour Deep Sea? Because you've played that.
I don't know. Mechanically, I don't think it's anything
No,
like that.
no.
But I think
Cool.
thematically, you are trying to discover life underwater, and the deeper you go, and you've got a really interesting point of view. The way you move around, and you've got your little ROV, you can't get too far away because stuff always
Signal.
spawns next to you, and the
Oh.
signal set. But your ROV is the actual thing that gets all the points for you. But you need it to get over there, and then you've got there's a bag building element.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm gonna, but then you pass the bags around. So what you're building.
You can
So it's
mess
a bag
up the
building
boy next
draft
to you.
kind of
Bag
thing.
building draft,
Right,
so
okay.
it sounds quite cool. So yeah,
And so you can mess up the next person's
Yes,
draft.
exactly.
Well, I like it
Oh,
already.
John's going to love that.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to trying getting hold of a demo of that a bit later today.
Nice. Keep us posted. That sounds good.
Good question. It's Paperfork Games.
Quite impressed. I did
That was
one.
fast.
Yeah, it was
There you
fast.
go.
Yeah,
Faster
I was
than the
gonna-
clipboard.
I was-
Memorise, you see.
He doesn't even have a clipboard.
I've
So
got a
he's
mental
upgraded his
clipboard.
RAM especially for the
It's the only thing I memorise.
Right, I'd like to talk about Revelation Games. So they've been fans of the show as well, which is always good. But they accosted Sid and I yesterday,
Yeah.
and what they do, I think, is really cool.
Is that where the
Can we
trousers
talk
come
about
in?
how they accosted us? First? I think this is important.
I can't remember. I was in too much pain. What did they say?
Well, you were hunched over. There was a man waving at a clipboard at me, going, "Clipboard, buddy!"
Yeah, and then we ran up and did the cheers
They
with our
did the
clipboards.
cheers with
Yeah,
the
I remember that now. Yeah. No, that really happened. So, but Revelation Games, they are bringing Essen to you. So they've partnered with loads of small indie publishers and designers from Germany, South Korea, Finland, America, South America, with their little games that have gone to Essen and don't really get to go anywhere else. And they've kind of conglomerated them all together and are bringing them to the UK. So they're quite small box games with a huge variety of themes and mechanics and really, really diverse and really cool. We were quite taken aback by the idea of Prowl.
Prowl, yeah.
Which was really cool, lovely artwork of anthropomorphic animals that are kind of all knights and nobles and barbarians and stuff.
Okay.
But they play different seasons. So you've got I'm not going to describe the 4 seasons. Obviously, you know what those are. But you're also placing a bet. So you put down a card that I'm going to try and get this season to the top of this track, and you're trying to bet on what you're trying to upgrade it, but you don't want it to be too obvious because other players can then go, right, I reckon
Jump
Rory's
on
got
it.
winter.
Yeah, okay.
And if you guess correctly, you get this massive special token, which means you break all ties for the rest of the game,
Okay.
which means that you can then very easily just need to draw for the win, and I insta-win the game.
Nice.
It's
So it's a
really
game
cool.
of subterfuge. and lying.
Subterfuge, but high conflict as well with these
Okay.
4, and it looked like it's going to play really quickly.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Sounds really good. Yeah, so I really want to check it. But they've got loads of other games there.
Yeah, it
they
was
did
lots.
mention they've got some kids game. They mentioned some trick-taking games, loads of different things. Go check them out. I just like the idea. I think it's a really cool idea that this British company have gone, no, these Essen games, more people need to know about them. Let's bring them to the UK. And it's the only place you're going to get them. No other retailer, no other stockist, distributor has got any of these games. So
Nice.
while you're here this weekend, do check them out because you're going to find something a
That's-
bit special.
That's
I'll play.
Revelation Games.
Revelation Games at 3745
Okay.
because I have a clipboard with all the numbers on.
I'm going to take advantage of your clipboard now. Whilst on the subject of well, you know, why
I
do
think you
why?
should charge him for that.
Why have a dog and bark yourself?
Shouldn't let them ride on the back of giants, should we?
Right on the back of giants. Go on. Tell
I
us
was
about-
going to make a rude joke, but I'm not going to because it's far too beyond the pale. Whilst on the subject of high conflict, we have been a number of us have been recommended Altay by Aries Games. Now we mentioned Etheria. Eternia.
Eternia.
That's
the one with the diphthong.
That's the one. Yeah, that one. By which was the Roman one, which I had a look
Martin
at.
Wallace.
Martin Wallace's new game, yes. But Altay has been recommended to at least two of us.
Yeah.
Because of the high conflict, the asymmetry, it's also quite a short game as well. So dice.
Yeah, under an hour. Deck
Under an
builder
hour. Deck
with-
builder, dice, various
Yeah.
other bits of. And that's been recommended to us. So that's at Aries Games, which I shall be going to have a poke at that at some point this weekend, because that sounds bloody marvellous. I don't know where they are, though, so you're going to have to tell me.
It's on the other side of the piece.
There you go. Aries Games.
3A402.
There you go. They sound fun.
Cool.
What?
The Gill.
Oh, it's me. Right, I want to talk about a game. What?
Everyone's looking at you and you're like, oh, what do I do now on the podcast?
It's probably at home. Steve cuts all that bit out. But no, right. So, and I want to talk about a Jane Austen themed game. Is what I'd like to talk about.
Wait for it.
All right.
Carry on.
It's quite exciting. I thought it was a fever dream.
Drag me. I want to go check out this game, Rory. But I might have just dreamt it. It might have been if I don't know if it's real. And you're dragging me across the halls.
It's real. It's a real thing. It's called Sentai and Sensibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Jane Austen, British Regency. That's how you start. You have your tea parties. There's an entire section in this game about having tea parties, and all that lovely bonnet stuff.
It's got tea in it, so it's a winner with you.
Then, now, Steve, make sure you sat down.
Right, okay.
Kaiju's attack.
Wait, what?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. In the,
I can see why you thought it was a fever dream.
in the
And it was.
middle of your British Regency tea party,
Yeah.
you get dressed up as Power Rangers, and there's an entire set piece
hang
of
on.
getting dressed up in your suits.
So are you saying the Bennett sisters are in fact Power Rangers?
Yeah.
On the quiet.
You understand now why I thought this was a fever dream?
And Mr. Darcy is the Yellow Ranger, right?
Mate, whomever you want, you can skin it, right? And then you go through the process, get your robots ready, and then you go and attack Kaiju.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you come back, and then you go back into your Regency.
What with? A sunshade and an umbrella.
Now, the artwork for this had a Power Ranger dressed up in all the regalia with the cravat and had a sword and was one of those in the hat. It was
This sounds
honestly-
remarkably similar to what's that RPG we've been playing recently?
Candela Obscura.
Candela Obscura.
It's not the same.
No, but it could be
Now-
because we're all dressed
now-
up. in
now
that.
that I've got you all
You've just
excited,
given me an
I
idea
have-
for an adventure scene for
Yeah.
Captain
I
Obscura.
have got an admission to make about this.
Right.
It is an RPG. But now that you're all excited, go and see it, because it's completely mental.
And it
That's
sounded
even
like
more
a
intriguing.
really cool mechanism.
Oh, it's got a really cool. This is their own dice mechanism.
Yeah, polymorph mechanism.
Polymorph mechanism, and you pick your character based on a die value. So a D4, 6, 8, or 10. All right, and that changes what that character is good at. So each ability has a different dice roll value associated with it, or range of dice values rolls with it. So that if you go for a higher like D10, you can fight better, but you might end up with a really shitty roll at etiquette.
Which is one of the stats.
Which is one of the
Etiquette is
stats.
one of the
Etiquette's a
stats.
stat.
Lovely.
So you can
Let's
balance
use the
your
right
character
fork.
to be more
Yeah,
of
of
a
course,
fighter
yes, yes.
or more of a Regency bonnet.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
I don't even know what the
If you
words are. I don't have the
I
vocabulary
don't
for
know
this
the-
game.
Wouldn't it be good if you just stopped if I... Excuse me, sir. I just need to pull out the correct umbrella for this address. I'm using the wrong cane.
But it has a,
Sorry.
It has a
Faux pas.
fail-safe as well. So if you're meant to be really good at something and you roll a 1, it's an honour system, and you just go, no, I'm meant to be really good at this. I'm
Just
meant
got blag it.
Oh, yeah, I'm the stable boy. Of course, I know how to ride a horse. I couldn't possibly fail to jump over this fence.
That's how you took horse. I thought that was a euphemism when she told us.
No.
That was what was going on.
Right, Steve, talk about another game.
Right. A link from RPGs. Ghostfire Gaming were kind of popular for doing the Grim Hollow D&D 5e expansions. They're actually bringing out 2 board games. One of them is absolutely nothing to do with their previous range, and it's a cutesy dice placement game about trying to catch a bunny before it goes for a portal into another dimension. Of course. But the one that really caught my eye was Abberation, which is a cooperative tower defense game set in the Grim Hollow universe for their RPGs. And it's got a circular board, and you've got your base in the middle, and all the monsters are attacking. But it's got that... anyone remember Space Hulk?
Yes.
Well, you remember in Space Hulk you used to have the blips. You know,
Oh, yeah.
You basically get the blips. You know there's baddies out there, but you don't know what they are. So when they get within a certain range of your base, you flip them over and you find out what the baddie is. Or you can go and explore with your heroes to go find out what it is, do a recon mission and come back. Or you can set torches on the map, and when they come into the light, they get revealed then.
Oh, that's fun.
That
It
sounds
looked
cool.
really good. And it's not like over the top with minis, but had just enough kind of minis and plastic
Yeah.
to have a little bit of table presence. Looked really interesting.
Aberration, what's the name of the publisher, sorry?
Ghostfire Games.
Ghostfire. I want to go check that out, actually.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Ghostfire Games.
Live writing things down in
Live
the
writing stuff
podcast.
down.
Yeah, fantastic audio content.
You're welcome. You glad I'm back, Steve?
I forgot to give my stand number because I had it and I've written it down. I want to make sure I give my stand number.
Go on, do it now, go on,
We'll
do it
edit
now.
it. We'll edit it back in.
I'm not editing this. You can put it off.
But for these good people, Sentai and Sensibility, because honestly, please go look at it. It's hilarious. It's 15 quid as well. It's it's Hall 2, 360.
He pulls that up.
I'm confused. I'm excited. Could you imagine being a Power Ranger at a bonnet party? just ask yourself that.
Just tell the good people the stand number.
And if you
Hall
want
2, 360.
if you want Fathom, that's 2714. It's cursed. You passed it on, Sid.
Honestly.
Could you excited?
Andy.
I'll bring some sensibility back to this. All right, yes. Okay. I have been talking to my friend Ben at Cerberus Studios, which I do every year now because I'm hooked, and he knows it. I swear to God, he's now producing Kickstarter campaigns aimed directly at me. This is for Celestial Affinity, so this is what was now a small skirmish sort of fantasy game where you've got demons, you've got werewolves, you've got witches, you've got humans, but basically defending or attacking a village. He ran a Kickstarter campaign last year for all of these lovely 54mm resin miniatures. He's now got a new Kickstarter campaign out to expand the game, and rather than have sort of 3 miniatures aside now, this is now expanding into a full tabletop system, which is, I am edging very, very close to a precipice here that I need to step back from. But it's now an expansion. He's now bringing out witches, harpies, undead, which sounds very interesting, I'm not going to lie. So that's all really good at Cerberus Studios. They are at 3802, if I remember rightly. I know,
He
see,
did that
I do
without
remember
a
that.
clipboard.
He did that without a
And he
clipboard.
See, you
didn't
don't need
stumble
it.
it either.
You know, he managed to
No,
say
see.
4 numbers next
Is he like professional or something?
Did he get it
Apparently
right,
so.
though? We don't know
Andy,
that yet.
professional.
Right.
Well, if you say it strongly enough as a consultant, people just believe you.
That's true.
Yeah.
Stupor Mundi from Pegasus Spiel was a game that I was really excited to find out was here because Pegasus Spiel released their information quite late, I think. So I didn't know it was going to be this. We missed it in the recording. Otherwise, it would have definitely been in there. It is a Nestori Mangon game who did Timeless Journeys and co-designed Shackleton Base and did Newton. So I don't know anything more about it other than it's a designer that I think is wonderful and I really want to go check it out. But it is only available on the Pegasus Spiel stand because I've looked for it everywhere else to get the best price, and it is going to have to be at the Pegasus Spiel, 45 rips, which I think I'm going to go just get because it's a big beige Euro box game designed by Nestor Magon. I was like, yeah, okay, let's buy it.
You should.
Yeah. I'm really-
You reminded me then of, you know, the drunken lawyer in the Fast Show? Right then, that was you.
Yeah? That's not the first time you've said that.
No,
actually.
no.
It's going to give me a bit of a complex.
Right, I want to talk about a game that
Here we go.
surprised me. It was
That
it
surprised you?
me. Mate,
Kaiji was fine.
that was normal, man. That was normal. No, I want to talk about a game that we saw at the press preview last night, and Rory brought me towards it and said, "Oh, I've seen the film of this." And I didn't know there was this film that existed. It's a silent film.
Silent.
In the sense there's no talking in it.
Yeah.
So it's a film
Generally
called.
silent, yeah.
It's well, no, there's
Well, no,
music and
there's
stuff.
music and sound
it's not like
effects, it's just no talk.
They had that in
1930s.
silent films too. That's
There's a boy on an organ though. Look, anyway, look, we're not. piece here. Talking of organs, sorry, Luthier.
We're going
Go
back
and
to
see
Roy's trousers.
Luthier's dice tower.
Oh, Samo the organ, yeah.
Oh,
you
it's
can buy it.
amazing.
45 quid it'll cost you, but it is lovely.
You drop the dice into it, and it's got the little pins on it, so it
makes
plays
like
music.
organ music as the
Oh,
dice
wow.
fall through.
Yeah.
It's
Through it, yeah.
honestly, it blew my mind.
Wow.
The crowd went wild.
They're
for
going
the
to
organ
sell
dice.
out now.
Oh, it's
There's going to be a
stunning.
charge once this podcast
Truly
is
stunning.
finished.
But ignoring that, so I want to talk about Flow, which is on Hachette's stand.
Yeah.
And it's a co-op game, 4 players, where you're all trying to rescue the animals
Yes.
and bring them all home. And it was just a really nice,
Yeah.
simple game. I think the kids could enjoy. And then you have to build it. It's a little path building game.
Yeah, it's a path building game. So if you've seen the movie Flow, it's about animals trying to survive a post-apocalyptic flood. So the water's rising throughout the movie, and the animals are trying to survive on this boat. It's brilliant. Won an Oscar and everything. Go see it. Especially if you've got kids. Like, it's time for bed now. Put the movie on. It'll slowly, really relax them. Anyway, so you're trying to build this
build a
path to get all the animals to the boat. But every now and then, a big wave comes along and just knocks
washes
out
it all out.
a load of your stuff. So you need to do it really quickly and cooperate.
It just looked really, really,
Really
fun.
pretty, yeah. Brain Games is the publisher.
Is that the publisher?
Yeah, who did Game of Trains.
They
did,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh,
so,
wow,
yeah, so
okay.
it's got some colour behind the publisher, and it's a Hachette game, so they normally pick up the really, really good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, Flow.
Flow.
Add that to my list.
Yes, I think it's, if you've got kids or if you're going to be buying games for kids, Flow, I think, is one that should be on your list to go to see.
Stand number.
2316.
Thank you.
4 numbers back to back.
That's 2 people have managed that now.
Look, you can't pick on me.
We can.
Can.
And
You can't pick
What?
on either of us. We're only small.
You set the bar quite high by starting the podcast as you did.
okay, is this karma?
Karma. Right, John, go on, tell us about another game, mate.
All right. We got accosted on our way around the hall this morning, and we found a little card game called Tacta. I wanted to mention this in the preview, but we ran out of time. But basically, it's a little card-laying game. Each of the cards have little shapes, like overlap-type shapes, and little points on the cards. And you've got different colours. You're trying to lay them and make sure that your cards end up with your points. With your points on there. Stop whispering, it's distracting.
Just take those back.
You want to end up with as many of your points visible at the end of the game. Whoever's got the most points at the end, they win. It's a really neat little, I can show the audience here, a neat little card laying game where you're trying to lay things on top of one another. Looks like good fun. So we're going to go and check that out in a bit.
Cool. You should definitely go see Flippers, by the way.
Oh,
Yes.
We had a
you
run
should go
through
see
of that
Flippers.
yesterday.
I shall.
It looks like bedlam.
I will write.
With
a note.
we were
Penguins.
summoned over with "This is a John game," and he took us through it, and it was a John game.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely go check that out. And they are, I forget the name of the publisher now, Molinarius Games. All their games are ocean-based. And they take half of their profits and they donate them to ocean cleaning charities,
That's
which
cool.
is cool. So if you are going to buy, if you do fancy them, bear that in mind. I think that's really, and again, another noble publisher doing
Absolutely,
something
yeah.
cool. And there's no plastic in their games either, so it's cool.
Yeah, I've seen them, their folk running around today.
Yeah.
It's quite a fairly hefty
did-
stand, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have a look for that.
it's all good.
Who's next?
Back to Steve.
Back to me. Oh, I'm actually ran out of games. Oh, no.
Well, I've got a random one for you.
Go on, Random. Go on then.
So while I was looking at Sentai and Sensibility, I needed to come down from it. I went and
You need a downer.
I did the downer. I went and we brought across Soulmuppet Publishing, and they've got another selection of fantastic RPGs.
Yeah.
Right.
I just want to mention a couple briefly. The one that really caught our eyes was Orbital Blues, which is like a cowboy bebop style space cowboy western thing.
Firefly.
Right.
And it's really what's really interesting about it. Firefly,
Yeah.
but it's all about carrying your emotional baggage around with you and then building on that in little scenes. Honestly, it's brilliant.
That sounds perfect for us.
You've got basically blues. Yeah, you have troubles. You carry your
What's
troubles
so
around with
funny
you.
about emotional baggage?
They met Sid.
So as I say, when I was coming off Sentai's husband, this just brought me down, calmed me down. That was
It is really cool.
Really
And
interesting. And
the production quality is all they've
Oh,
got. Like
it's-
some of the expansions you get in a VHS box.
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
So
well,
it's got
okay.
this real retro sci-fi
really,
vibe to it.
really kind of punchy little games that they've got a mixture of adventure, about 8 hour long ones, 10
Yeah.
hour long ones, but then your pamphlet ones are about 2. so you can just quickly
Okay.
play
Yeah,
them,
and they've
have a
really
quick
expanded
blast.
it. The artwork's fantastic.
Artwork's
It looks like
beautiful.
they've got a really cool little system. It's really RPG led, so
Yeah.
it's a really, like I said, so a
Narrative.
really narrative game
Yeah.
experience, and it kind of really promotes that. And they also had a vampire game.
Vampire game,
And-
Arthurian Western. Yeah. Think kind of Dark Towery kind of
Oh, okay.
Wizards
Yeah.
with a six
wizards
shooter.
with 6-shooters kind
Yeah.
of thing. So,
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
so they're just round the corner from when you're picking up your kaiju bashing bonnet collection.
Have you bought this yet, Sid?
2-40. I've got it right. See, you've thrown me off there. 2449 is where they are.
Have you bought the Sentai one yet?
No, I'm going to get
You're
it.
going to.
But
You're
it's
gonna get it.
15 quid.
Of course it
It's
is.
so mental.
Yeah, okay.
You can't not own that.
So that'll be a Wednesday night one, won't it, in the near future?
Yeah.
Well, Sentai and Sensibility. I'm going to play it with Amanda because I'm just going to say the bonnet collection.
Don't
game.
tell her about the
Don't
kaiju.
tell her about the kaiju.
Because as soon as she
too
knows about
late.
kaiju, she won't want to play it.
Yeah, I
If you
know.
just say it's a sensibility game, yeah.
Yeah, hey, that's what I'm
Yeah,
going to go
just
with.
take it as a
That's going to be
surprise.
hilarious.
Yeah. I reckon that. I mean,
How is your scone?
Suddenly kaiju. Wow. Okay. Fantastic. I spoke to the Thinning Veil boys last night, which is a game that was actually here last year. Steve and I both saw it, but we never actually got the chance to sit down and play it. So it's a kind of, well, we thought.
Their mob was banned. Their stand was mobbed last
It was,
year.
yes.
Absolutely mobbed.
Yes, which is a nice problem for them to have. So I managed to pin them down, Paul and Paul, which is nice and easy to remember. And it's what I thought was a skirmish game isn't actually a skirmish game. And I kind of thought it was also a bit more like Oathsworn, so it had like a narrative where you got branching storyline, that kind of thing. But it isn't that either. It is a kind of skirmish game with a kind of a narrative, but it's a 1v1 or a 2v2, depending on how many players you unlock as you go through the
It's
game.
board based, isn't it? So
It
it's
is,
It's a
yes.
board game rather than a
Yes.
tabletop miniatures game.
Yes. So it's kind of got a bit of Oathsworn, a bit of Kingdom Death, a bit of Gloomhaven, and a bit of Oathsworn, all of sort of...
Two bits of Oathsworn.
Two bits.
Two
Did I
bits
say
of it,
Oathsworn?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I swear, God. What's that other one?
Oathsworn.
You go back to your trousers, you.
just go back to saying stand numbers, mate.
Sorry.
You're good at that.
I'm good at that. I'm good at that.
I got the biggest
but-
laugh, sod off.
So that one was called
That was the Thinning Veil.
right because there was other Veil games as well. And I'm getting confused between all the Veil games now.
Oh,
It's all right,
moment.
mate. It's all right.
Hang on,
I know
give
it
us a sec.
hurts. I know it hurts.
don't get too close, it will hurt.
For the audio listeners, there was a big hug then.
Sickening. Because there's Beyond the Veil, which is an RPG.
RPG.
Beyond the Veil is. No, I've had to look at my photographs. I've not got a clipboard. I've got a clipboard, but I've got photographs on my phone. Beyond the Veil was the sci-fi horror type game where you could mix in the different monsters. So it could be a horror monster, it could be aliens or something like that. Mm-hmm. Looked really interesting.
That's beyond the.
That's Beyond,
Beyond
the Veil,
not the Pale.
Not
Beyond the Pale.
Beyond the Veil. And then there was. I'm
Veil.
getting confused now. Which one did you just talk about?
Thinning Veil.
So what's Veiled Fate?
That's a card game, I think.
Right. Okay.
I think.
There's lots of Veil games. Right. There's two
There
themes
is.
for the expo: hot pink and veils.
Veils,
So we're looking for a hot pink veil.
Pink veil. Okay.
So I actually, when we spoke to the class of '89 people at the
Paverson,
preview,
yeah.
I actually said about the hot pink thing, and the woman demoing it looked at me like, "Is this some bizarre British joke?"
Yes.
Yes.
Bizarre in the sense it's limited to us five.
Yes.
Yes.
And the listenership, of course.
Of course.
Don't drag them into this.
Another game I saw last night that I was quite interested in is another little game. Was Aster from Midnight
Oh,
Trading
yes.
Company, which are 3A738. Now, this is a chess-like spaceship game. So it's got, you've got these little three-sided little shuttles that you're sending around this board that has interlinking circles, and you're just trying to hop over each other. And every time you hop over one of your opponents, it dials down a pip. And the higher your pip is, the heavier it is, the slower it moves. And it's a kind of like an abstract area control game. It gives us a lot real good chess vibes. And it goes 2 to 2 or 3 players.
it looks like it's going to be. It's just that it had this lovely little map, really simple board, these really cool little pieces. It's first-time designer, first-time publisher, coming to, what's the word? Kickstarter. Thank you.
It's not just me that's
glad I
struggles
could
with
help.
words.
Yeah, coming to Kickstarter in Q1 next year. I just thought, again, last night I was really just focusing on the indie publishers. I know we talked about all the big stuff. We talked about all the we know SETI expansions is going to be awesome. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But I was really looking for the small, cool stuff that I didn't know, and this was one. Sounded interesting. When I look at it, spoke to the guy, I was like, go get a demo of that. I just think it's going to be a cool game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Aster. What else you got, Mr. Gill?
I've got loads, but I'm not. How long have we got, Gov?
A couple more. If there's some burning ones you want to mention, then we'll open for questions.
Not Rory's trousers.
Why would you have to say
Not
burning?
Rory's smouldering
Burning Rory's
trousers.
burning lines. We can talk about that for another 20 minutes if you want.
No.
Right, since I mentioned the SETI expansion, I'm
Yeah,
just
might as
let's
well.
talk about that now,
yeah.
well, the SETI expansion. So we got a little taster of that yesterday. The new space agencies
yeah.
give you brand new starting resources. You've also got some quick setup cards as well. So if you want to just mix up, just add those in. It just changes how you start the game. The whole idea of this expansion is that you get into the meat of the game earlier. You also play it for one round less. If you've played SETI, it's a great game, I think you should. Your first round is kind of just getting your engine started. So the space agencies take that out and throw you into the thick of it. You start kind of established, and they give you a passive ability and then one ability that you can use every round as well to kind of trigger some stuff.
It's a bit like Prelude for Terraforming Mars. Then.
Yes, yeah, you mentioned
Yeah.
that.
Nice.
And then we saw one of the aliens, because they've only got one of the new aliens with them. I think they're going to be drip feeding the other ones out. And this it's going to give you, well, as soon as they get discovered, every player gets 3 cards put down in front of them that you don't get to see. And you need to unlock them using chips, and it's going to give you some major abilities that are going to mix up. And then you can either cash those cards in and use them as you would do normal cards in your hand, or you can use them to get the points on the aliens. It reminded me a little bit like a Borg ship, the artwork.
It did look
It
quite
little bit
foreboding.
Borg-y.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be really cool. But that's all they're talking about. That's all they're showing, because they're saving the other stuff for probably Origins and Essen and Gen
Not
Con.
been launched yet.
They're launching it, Essen, I think.
Yeah, so I'd imagine they'll probably release another alien at whatever the next one is.
Gen
Gen
Con,
Con.
next
Gen
one.
Con, they'll probably talk about one more, and then I think third one will be. That's how I did the marketing. I'll give Alani a call. Tell her my thoughts.
As long as that's all you tell her.
Never mind. Moving on, Sid.
I want to talk about something that we mentioned on the podcast on the preview episode, which was a bit of a throwaway. It was a bit of a last minute, saw this, let's have a look at this. And it's Console Wars. All right? And we saw it last night at the press preview, and frankly, yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Just go and see them and play that game. It is perfect for people our
Like
age.
us. Yeah.
So I don't want to offend anybody.
Like early 30s,
but it is
right?
nostalgia fueled. It's nostalgia fueled. Arguments that we all had at school about whether the Sony was better than the Microsoft consoles and the Nintendo. Was
You won't
better than
even
the
say
Master
the
System.
name. You.
No, I'm not.
Right,
I don't
okay.
like.
God,
I don't feel
that
dirty.
makes me feel even older, Sid.
What Nintendo
But
and
you-
Master System?
Well, yeah, you said Sony and Microsoft, and you know,
Yeah.
that, I'd left uni by the time they were having arguments.
You're like the oldest man in Osty. But honestly, it just feels like a really quick. It was they've got all of the things you'd expect in it in terms of like ways to dick over your mates.
I was
Stop
quite
that.
surprised
That's
by
all you
fanboy
need.
base.
because
Sold.
the game is actually all about kind of dicking, because you've got a finite amount of computer game fans.
Yeah.
So you're constantly trying to steal them off each other.
Exactly that, and it's like arguing with your mates in the playground.
Yeah.
It just looks brilliant.
It
It
looks
looks, so
fantastic.
much fun.
2 to 5 players as
Yeah.
well, full of naughty moves to do on each other.
£20, again, punt territory. Give it a
Neon
throw.
pink,
neon
magnetic
pink.
box.
Oh,
I mean, that's
sexy magnetic. Oh, there's your man. Like you see, he's all over it. There you go.
It's already got one.
Oh, good.
Oh, it's absolutely superb.
It's all right. We'll get him on the way out.
Any more for any more?
I'll do a couple of quick shout outs. Locke Battle Mats
Yeah.
Yes.
Can
We
we
like
say hello
them.
to Lockbottom
Yeah.
Mats? So their guys' original product. If you played D&D, they did like a ring-bound book, which was also like a gloss finish. You can quickly throw a map down, but it's like a gloss finish. So you can use a dry erase marker, and they keep adding extra stuff. So they were showing off last night. They're basically an instant dungeon.
Yes.
So it's like a deck of cards. If your players decide to do something you weren't expecting,
Yeah.
you could quite literally throw down quite a complex dungeon
Yeah.
in seconds by just drawing cards, laying them out, and then each one things had actually objectives on them. So it wasn't just a case of that's a door. It was like this is a secret locked door. And you need to go to get X to get Y. Really interesting little
That's
product.
quite
Yeah.
good. Oh, that's nice.
And-
They also do obviously digital versions. So
Yes.
if you're doing Roll20 and stuff, you can use the same maps
Yeah.
digitally, so you don't have to
That's cool.
scan them in,
Yeah.
which is quite nice.
They also had which I think they brought out last year, was a deck of insults for bard players.
Nice.
Some are really good.
Although, will Zanhorn ever be back? That's the question.
No.
Please no.
Zanhorn, that's a name I haven't heard in a while.
For the best. Stop
For the
saying
best,
it.
yeah.
Stop
We
saying
don't.
it.
Let's move
It's like
swiftly on.
Candyman. It'll appear in a minute if you keep saying it.
Or Beetlejuice.
Right, should we go to some questions?
Oh, I just want to give one more shout out to
Go on.
Alicat Games. So they've got a big announcement tomorrow at 11 a.m. They're revealing some games, plural, that look very good.
Oh,
Yeah.
mysterious.
I'm not allowed to say anything more than that. I don't.
okay.
To be honest, I know like that much more. So, yeah, but yeah, I was told that I've got to be there.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
you. or
Which
can
probably
we come
means,
too?
yeah, you can come along as well.
Oh,
yeah.
brilliant.
I reckon. I don't know if it's going to be another Fabio game.
Right. Okay.
Steady.
So, I gave him such a big hug yesterday.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. We're in the outside of it. We're on the outside of it, waiting for the press preview. We walked through the door, and there's Fabio, and I swear he was waiting for me. So I was waiting, and I just ran up and gave him a great big hug.
Do you think that badge that you're wearing right now, has it got a tracking device in it?
If anybody else is a big fan of Fabio Lopiano, you can join my society.
Have you brought more badges
I
with
brought
you?
more
He's got a bag.
Well,
He's got
an
a bag of
actual
them.
bag full of
Why
these
not?
bloody things.
This is the real pin badge trade of the.
Oh,
Xbox.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
This is the underground one, isn't it?
This is the
Yeah.
kind of
Four
bike shed
yesterday.
swapping
Hang on.
things.
Yeah, there's 5 of us now.
5 of us, plus Fabio himself, of course.
Yeah, including Fabio. Yeah.
No, it's 5. Oh, 5. Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you said. Sorry, Rory. Wasn't listening to you, Rory.
Right then, some questions then. Anyone got any questions for us? I know one person's got one because one person said they had one before we started.
You mentioned that bar a moment ago. When was the last time that all 5 of you played together?
When was the last time?
About 2015.
Look, we talked about this before we came on, right? Listen to questions, I repeat them, then we answer. Right? And 2 of you just fucking
Chop,
enjoyed it,
chop.
right? Right.
Get better.
Sorry, Rory's got to say something.
The question was,
When was the last time all 5 of us played a game together?
was it Twilight Imperium? Was that all 5 of us?
I can't remember the last
Oh.
time I played.
No, you've not played Twilight
No.
Imperium, so it wasn't Rory.
No, I have.
that
I just
been.
haven't played
Have
it
we
with
ever?
John.
No.
Have all 5 of us ever sat down and played a game?
I don't think we have.
Do you know, the last thing I can would. Oh, Sid, did you play the silly voting game, Parliament with the Animals?
No.
No, that would
No,
have that would have
no.
flipped the table at that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we almost
Do you know,
did.
I think the only time it would have been when we started playing D&D, because when we started playing D&D,
Oh,
Steve, you
yeah.
hosted all of us because
Yeah.
we were one big party.
That's true.
And then we
And then
split the group.
off, Yeah.
Is that the last time
That was the
all
last
5
time.
of us sat down for a game together?
Yeah, with
And we were
with
online.
us, yeah.
Ironically,
We're online. yeah.
Wasn't that when Zanhorn was around?
I
Told
think that's
you.
the.
It's getting a foothold.
He's back.
He said it twice now. Never a third, because then it'll never go.
No, we didn't play any games together last year, did we, at Expo?
No.
We played Seven Wonders. Were you there for Seven Wonders last year?
Yeah, you were, John. You were.
You were?
Yeah, you were very tight, John. Yeah, you were because you got a lift
Physically,
back
I
with
was-
me.
I wasn't
Andy
there.
wasn't.
Andy wasn't.
Andy was.
I was forward because no, you were there.
Well, of course I was there as part of BGG 100.
No, Horror on the Orient Express.
I wasn't there for that one.
You were doing the videoing.
But I wasn't playing the game.
Semantics, man.
No, there's really
You were in
semantics.
5 of
That's
us
the
around the
freaking
table.
question,
There was a game being played, and you were all there.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
to be fair, on a technicality, he's right.
How is that technically right?
Hey, the governor said I'm right. Stop now. He said I'm right.
Let's move on.
Anyway,
Let's move on. Right, another
great
question.
question. Thank you. Anyone else? Right,
Not right.
I'm looking for you.
Thanks for the console board recommendation, by the way. It's the first thing I bought when I got here.
Oh, good. Glad.
You mentioned space agencies by SETI.
Yeah.
What other game do you think will benefit from skipping the intro and get straight into the meat?
Oh, what are the games?
No, Rory, what have you done wrong?
I was repeating the question.
I was sat here waiting, he's going to fuck it up. I'm so sorry. And he did.
Well, I just jumped straight to the question.
Yeah, but it's wrong. You're not supposed to jump
Right.
straight to the question, are you?
So,
The question was,
how am I supposed to do this? We were thanked politely for our recommendation. Everyone here heard that bit.
No, but that wasn't the question. The question was about SETI, the space agency.
Yeah, okay. Right. Go. Sorry,
can't
I'm
remember
being demoted now.
the question was,
Such a
what other games could benefit from the same sorts of speed the game up type mechanics
From SETI,
like
yeah.
the expansion for SETI?
What other games?
Game of Thrones.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's a slow one.
And I think one of the expansions actually does do that, because Game of Thrones, the first few rounds are just everyone expanding, and you don't
Yeah.
really knock into each other until second or third round,
Yeah.
perhaps, and that's when it starts to heat up. But yeah, everyone's just going forward. There was a game we played years ago where it was like almost prescribed. I can't remember the name of it, where everyone would advance a particular way, and it was obvious what everyone was going to do the first
Oh,
round.
yeah.
I'm just like, well,
Oh, I forget what
why is this first round even in the game? Why can we not just go
Yeah.
straight to the next one?
Ark Nova jumps to my mind as a game that could really benefit from a quick start. Because
Yes.
I'm going to play one animal. Your turn. Right.
That's exactly how it happens.
Round 2 is I'll do 2 animals. I
I've got no
want to jump
money.
straight in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got no money.
Yeah, I've got
So,
no money, so I'm going to have to go for a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes the beginning of that. I can't think of any others that could really benefit from it.
No.
No. Good question. Like that one. Thank you.
Space-based could, but it does. So,
Dirty man. Space base.
well, you know, someone's got to entertain the lighter audience.
Yes, okay. Anyone else? Any more questions? I keep looking at you, Ryan. You got one?
I've got two.
Oh.
Oh.
First one,
First question.
it's more of an update. Coffee holster status.
It's here.
The question was,
It's empty.
Empty.
It's empty because I can't sit down.
So it's actually just a pouch on the side of the
Apparently,
body.
no, it's because I finished my coffee and I just got rid of it because I
That
don't.
was Andy's point, is that you don't need one. If
See?
you finish your
Thank
coffee.
you. See? Andy in Right Again Shocker.
What do you mean I don't? What do you mean I don't need it? Most of you here know that I've got
Give me
a
a
bag
coffee
that
cup.
fits my thermos.
There you go.
No, I've got my own thermos.
Oh, he's got his own thermos.
For the audio listeners at home, Sid has just brought out a thermos that takes about 5 gallons of coffee in it.
You brew it double strength as well.
I can smell it
So
from
that
here.
keeps you
You won't
going.
turn the lid off.
Yeah, I've got my thermos here.
Oh, there you go, look at that. Thermos buddies.
Yeah, but I take my coffee with milk, so I need to go to one of the stands to pinch some milk and some sugar, and yeah, the jobs are good.
Why don't you pre-mix it?
Exactly.
Hey?
Oh, no, because Ming, you don't pre-mix milk into thermoses. You animal.
I've been told.
That was just you admitting to just scrounging. I'll have coffee if I can scrounge it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
My actual question.
Actual second question.
If I know you're busy with the tournament and everything, if you were going to take part in one tournament where you felt like you could win, which tournament would you take part in, and who would you like to beat in the final?
I'd like to beat Andy in the
You
final.
repeat the question.
Sorry, I got so excited. I just want to beat Andy.
One job, Rory. One job.
Yeah, the one time no one interrupted me either. Right, so if we could play in one tournament, what tournament would it be, and who would we like to beat in the final? So I would like to beat Andy in the final of whatever tournament.
I mean, it won't happen, but he can try.
I just really like beating Andy.
Because it doesn't happen very often. It's a novelty for him.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't think I'm ever good enough at any game to be a tournament player in anything.
I would like to win a tournament playing Galaxy Trucker against you, Rory, because you probably hate that game. And I just think it would be fun to involve you.
Have you ever played with him? I've played Galaxy Trucker with him.
Yeah, and how
He
did it
did
end?
flip the table.
Excellent.
I don't like chaos in my
I
game.
know.
Really.
It's not enough order.
Yeah, not enough order. Yeah, right angled. Come on, no.
A few weeks ago, I would have said either Age of Innovation or Terra Mystica, I'd have a chance, because I was on a good streak. I was on a good streak, and then Dave is at the back. He's looking very cheerful. Made me realise I do not know how to play that game because he doubled my score.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And at this point, Steve and I were like, we're just pipping each other, just winning and winning, taking out. And then Dave comes along and goes, no, this is how you play, boys. And the really annoying thing is, we're playing on Board Game Arena, like, Dave makes a mistake in setup, and then apologises to us. I'm really sorry, I've messed up massively. I've done something really counterintuitive with my setup. I'm probably going to lose now. And then utterly trounced us.
He hustled you.
Really hustled us. That's why we've not invited him back.
No, they're just rubbish.
Kidding, mate. Oh, good questions. Like it. I was expecting something more painful. I've been really worried about your questions. Is what I said. Yeah, okay.
I've went easy this year.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Have you seen Battle of Hoth?
Have we seen Battle of Hoth? No, we've got that booked in for
Tomorrow.
tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we've got a demo booked in, and it's very weird because everyone else is just like, oh, just come to the stand. And this is Asmodee.
Yeah.
And it's like, you must come to this door wearing a pink carnation, and the code word is Filiferous.
You told them.
Yeah, so we're going to a secret area on the Asmodee stand to play.
Well, we don't know where it is. We don't even know it's on the Asmodee stand. It could be
Well,
anywhere.
yeah, we were literally sent like a cutout of the map with a big arrow. Go here
So it's all
at
very
1 o'clock.
It's all very secret handshake
Yeah.
stuff. It's very bizarre.
And we've been told we are going to play Battle of Hoth and other games.
Dot, dot, dot.
Dot dot dot. Yeah, we don't even know.
No.
So yeah,
Exciting.
yeah, very exciting. Looking forward to it though. Looking forward.
It wasn't at the press preview. Asmodee didn't do anything.
They
at the
were
press
not
preview.
there.
They never are.
They tend not to.
No, they used to be
They
years
used
ago.
years ago. Yeah.
They used to
Oh,
be-
that's in the olden times.
Olden.
Before times, Stephen. When,
Well, yeah.
when
BS before SID.
Oh, is that what BS stands for?
One of the things.
Actually, I looked up the other day, and my first expo was 2013.
It's a
But as we
while.
have established, you are the oldest person
Yeah.
ever. Question.
I have a question. So I feel like in the past you guys have been quite anti-trick taker, or maybe that's just Andy.
It's not in the
me.
past.
Generally, and I feel like it might have been my fault because I potentially taught you a game that went really badly. But there are a lot of trick takers coming out.
Yeah.
Have any caught your eye, and might you try again?
Right. So we are all anti-trick takers.
Answer the question.
read the question.
I'm not. I'm
It was your rule.
It was
It's
your
rule.
Rule. He's saying it.
Well, I'm
let's see.
summarising it for people that listen to the podcast, not the people in the room.
Oh, sorry.
Right? That's the point of it. So, we don't like trick takers traditionally, and are we going to be introduced to one? Are we going to be persuaded to play one? Because there are a lot of them coming out at the moment.
No.
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 So, no, I'll take a slightly more balanced view. I think
I'll sit on the fence with you, Sid.
every 3 or 4 years you should challenge yourself and try again because you don't know. So you've got to punt it. And if there's one that catch my attention, I think I would try it.
Rory's
yeah.
giving us his he does know look.
I am willing to look, but I also want to wait and see what comes to the top because it feels like Roll and Write was 5 years ago
Yeah.
when everyone had a Roll and Write game and most of them were rubbish.
Yeah.
And then things came to the top like Cartographers and Adrian's Wall.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that.
Yeah.
Basically.
I think I need somebody else to go and pathfind it
Yeah.
and then tell me what's worth it at the end.
If only there was a podcast dedicated to this sort of stuff who could do that legwork for
There's
us.
a trick
There's no
taking
trick-taking
podcast. I
podcast.
don't want to listen to
No,
it.
no, at all.
John, if
be
you're doing
awful.
a trick taking episode, feel free.
You're on your own.
You can do
You're
it
the only person
solo.
on it.
We'll be in the pub.
Hello and welcome to the Polyhedron Kaleidocast with me, John. And that's it.
But it's a question to you guys. Do you want us to play trick taking games? No. Right? Are you guys interested
Oh,
in
yeah.
we do have some trick taking players.
See, there's
About 4 or 5
deafening
hands.
silence in the room. That says it all.
But there's very politely putting their hands up.
So if you guys all get together and play and
Tell
then
us.
tell us all about it, we'll feed the information back.
There we go.
Crowdsourcing.
Crowdfunded.
That's awesome. Okay.
Talk about arcs in one of the games, in one of the
Yeah.
arcs.
Arch is kind of semi trick taking, yeah.
It has
Yeah.
the trick-taking mechanic, but it is not a trick-taker.
No.
No.
Steve and I are still on the fence about whether it's any good or not, though.
Are you?
Yeah, well, I am.
Are you?
No, I'm not. I like it.
You like it.
But it has to be played at high play count.
Yeah.
I like it, but I'm still not convinced it's a good game.
Okay.
Duly
Right.
noted.
Question for the audience. We've mentioned loads of games in the previous episode. We've mentioned loads of games now. What have we missed?
Ooh, good question.
What have you managed to see?
Now,
Everything else.
do we need a spokesperson to summarise the question from
Bags
the
or not?
audience back?
You just volunteered. Well done, Sam.
I forgot what you said.
See this? You see this parapet that you've just stuck your head over?
Dave.
If any of you played Cavango, they very last minute announced an expansion.
Cavango.
Cavango. There's an expansion being announced for Cavango.
Yes, do you know Cavango?
Don't know.
We do not.
It's about creating a wildlife preserve in Africa.
Yes. Yeah.
The creators spent a lot of time out there doing conservation work and things like that. It's a fun sort of tableau builder, building a sort of ecosystem. You can only have certain animals if you've got the animals that they eat and things like that.
Yeah.
And you have to invest in security and ecology, and they just come up with an expansion.
Cavango. Yeah. I
So
need
it sounds like a turbo version of Moving Wild.
I am going to have to repeat all that because I'm just looking at the waveform and none of that got picked up.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that was
Cavango.
Cavango.
Cavango and the expansion that comes, the new brand new expansion that's just been announced.
Yeah.
So I do want to play that at some point, Dave.
I feel like I looked at that when we were looking at the preview. That name sounds very familiar to me.
Yeah.
Anything else? Go on.
I think you need to go and look at Allplay because they're new to the expo. They're exciting.
Allplay.
All play.
Allplay because you love.
Trick takers.
No.
No?
QE.
Yeah.
They published QE,
You
yes.
haven't been able to get hold of QE.
It's £35 at their stand right now, so it's a bargain. So if you want QE, which is a phenomenally good game, for those of you who don't know QE, it stands for quantitative easing, which is an incredibly dry subject. But if you like games like High Society, where you're bidding on things and the person who's bid the most at the end of the game can't win, QE is similar to that, where you're basically buying stocks and buying points, but you can bid whatever you like. There's no limit to the amount of money you can put in. So you have this wonderful growing ecosystem throughout the game. But again, at the end of the game, the person who has spent the most cannot win. It is incredibly clever and incredibly fun. So it's strongly recommended if you like that kind of game.
It's like you start the game and people are bidding like £5, and by the end of the game, people are bidding
4
5
trillion.
million.
Yes.
And all play, they're right at the front, aren't they? Are they right?
They're near the front of, I think it's Hall 2. No,
Yeah.
3.
No, 3.
3. Near the front
And
of
they've
3.
got the cool tables, the small like pub tables with the little banners over the top, so you can just see what game is being played on.
And
each.
there's
They've
a
got
big
loads
rack.
of demos.
There's a big rack of all the games that they have
Yeah,
available. It's
huge,
really
huge
nice.
shelf with-
Really nicely done.
2605.
I watched it the first time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Duly noted.
Just
That
note
was-
that the audience did Rory's work for him.
Yeah.
I can't just be expected to impromptu get every stand
It's
number.
been noted on
You
his annual
normally do,
review.
mate.
Yeah.
You normally do.
Mark up. Yeah.
Right then, folks, we are quickly running out of time. So, should we draw
Anything
this to a
else?
close or anything else? Any
Draw
trade?
a veil over
A veil
it.
over it, a hot pink
Hot
veil
pink
over
veil.
it.
Very good.
Go on.
Painting going.
How's the painting going?
Right, I entered my entry this morning into the competition. I have found not only mould lines that I missed this morning, but I varnished it.
Why did you look at it this morning?
Because I just thought I'll just make sure I hadn't knocked. Well, I'll tell you why. Because I'd varnished it the other day.
Yeah.
And I just make sure I hadn't knocked any paint off, and just went, that's a mould line. I've been staring at this model for about 50 or 60 hours, and I've now found a mould line that I haven't spotted before. And also, when I varnished it, I put a varnish on with my airbrush, and the fluorescent paint I've used is the pigments.
Yeah.
I didn't realise the pigments hadn't set, so the varnish made
No.
only one tiny little puddle, but while some of the pigments just dribbled.
Oh, no.
And so I had to go in after I'd varnished it and try and glaze that out. So yeah, that was not last night, because we were at the press preview last night, so that was Wednesday night. So yeah. Not well, no, so I'm not expecting to win anything.
You know, I think we need to do like a peer review of our models. Like before we spray, before we start painting, just go, can you check for mould lines, please?
See, what you're not supposed to varnish display models because of that
Well-
reason, basically. 'cause
Well,
you
yeah,
can change
but
the paint.
I thought that, but I also had knocked it so many times
Yeah.
and kept looking back and finding little bits of paint been flecked off that I just thought, I don't
Protect
trust
it,
it. And to be
yeah.
fair, I'm glad I did, because even the guy at Two Thin Coats grabbed it like that, like a claw,
Oh.
and I went, no!
But not everybody has our vinegar fingers,
No,
Steve.
true, yeah. My fingers do seem to strip paint better than paint strippers.
Well,
so.
Yeah, mine does as well.
So are they on
They're on display, yes. If you go to Hall
You submit
4,
yours.
just the other side of the open gaming, sorry, just this side of the tournament gaming. So you basically go out of the show a smidge, and there's glass cabinets all lit up there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I haven't seen the competition yet, so I got in quite early.
Yeah. I haven't put mine in there yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Tomorrow. I have to tomorrow, don't I? 'Cause
Yes.
yeah.
That's the cut-off.
Note to self.
Right then, folks. Thank you ever so much for coming along. Basically, have a great expo.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Until next time, happy gaming.